Darth Maladi. Darth Maladi is a Sith Lord from the Star Wars Legacy comic series, set about 130 years after Return of the Jedi in the Legends timeline. Born as a Devaronian named Maladi, she served under Darth Krayt in the One Sith Order. She's uniquely both a skilled Sith assassin and the head of Sith intelligence and Sith alchemy, blending dark side sorcery with science to create deadly plagues and toxins. Unlike many Sith, Maladi is deeply involved in biological warfare, notably developing a virus to cripple the galaxy. Her loyalty is complex. She's suspicious of Krayt and often acts independently, reflecting the internal treachery typical among Sith. Maladi remains one of the more mysterious and calculating figures in Sith lore, embodying the Sith ideal of secrecy and manipulation. Darth Maladi's ultimate fate remains unknown, as she disappears into hiding after Darth Krayt's fall, with her story left unresolved by the end of the Star Wars Legacy comics. Darth Maleval. Maleval was a Quarren Sith Lord who served Darth Krayt in the Star Wars Legacy comics, set about 130 years after Return of the Jedi. He's unique for wielding a shock whip in conjunction with a normal blade and for his fierce, fanatical devotion to the Sith cause. Maleval commanded stormtroopers of the 407th Imperial Infantry, ruthlessly executing his own men for perceived disloyalty. During a mission to suppress a rebellion on Barask, he pushed his troops to brutal extremes, sparking resentment. His story ends when Hondo Kar, a stormtrooper in his unit, kills Maleval to protect his squad, making Maleval one of the few Sith slain by a common soldier rather than a Jedi or rival Sith. Darth Kruhl. Kruhl was a human Sith Lord who served Darth Krayt as a master assassin. Kruhl specialized in stealth and infiltration missions for the One Sith. He's best known for a failed mission to assassinate Emperor Rowan Fel of the Fel Empire on Bastion. Although Kruhl nearly succeeds, Fel senses the attack and kills him with his lightsaber, exposing how even Krayt's assassins could not eliminate the rival Emperor. Unique to Kruhl, he embodies Krayt's philosophy that Sith must be willing to sacrifice themselves entirely for the Order, stating his life is meaningless except in service to Krayt. Darth Azard. Azard was a male Quarren Sith Lord serving Darth Krayt in the Star Wars Legacy comics. Emerging as a key commander after earlier Sith casualties, Azard led campaigns against Jedi holdouts and rebel factions, participating in operations on planets like Agamar and Dak, also known as Mon Calamari. He's notorious for overseeing the genocide of the Mon Calamari, executing Krayt's orders to exterminate up to 10% of the species as punishment for supporting resistance forces, a stark example of the Sith Empire's brutality. Azard is killed by Wolf Sasson in the Battle of Mon Calamari during the Second Imperial Civil War. Darth Havok. Havok is the Sith persona of Eshkar Neen, an Iktachi who fell from Imperial Knight to become one of Darth Krayt's most sadistic and effective agents. Renowned for his mastery of mental torture and illusions, he captured and broke key figures like Marasiah Fel and Antares Draco, securing vital intelligence for the One Sith. A formidable dark side user, he survived Darth Krayt's defeat, leaving the door open for the One Sith's secret resurgence. Darth Reave. Reave was a male Devaronian Sith Lord in the One Sith Order under Darth Krayt. He battled Cade Skywalker on Hat Abaddon, where Cade defeated him, as well as Celeste Morn, who used Sith magic to turn his stormtroopers into mindless Rakuls. After reporting this to Krayt, he himself turned into a Rakul and attacked Krayt. However, Strife beheaded him before he could reach the Dark Lord. Darth Rauder. Rauder was a humanoid female member of Darth Krayt's One Sith Order. When the Sith Imperial forces learned that deposed Emperor Rowan Fel was secretly rendezvousing with members of the Jedi Order to discuss an alliance on the planet Agamar, Rauder and other Sith pilots accompanied the first Sith Imperial strike force to travel to Agamar and capture Fel. In 138 ABY, during the attack on the Hidden Temple, Captain Yag refused to murder defenseless Jedi younglings and instead fired on Rauder for giving the order, destroying her starship and killing the Sith. Darth Wredd. Wredd was a human male Sith, aligned with the One Sith during the aftermath of the Second Imperial Civil War. A survivor from the planet Mala, devastated by a Sith bioweapon, he was taken as an apprentice, forced to wear a helmet, and hardened by his Sith master. In 138 ABY, Wredd killed his master in the Surd Nebula, stole the identity and armor of Imperial Knight Yalta Val, and seized control of the Carrera's communications array to announce his insurgency. He then waged a galaxy-spanning campaign, ambushing one Sith infiltrators, freeing slaves on Mon Calamari, and working behind the scenes to dismantle the clandestine Sith network. Wredd's final gambit occurred on Mala in 139 ABY in the Battle of the Floating World. He lured both one Sith forces and the Galactic Federation triumvirate there. When Wredd tried to kill Maresha Fel, Imperial Knight Jao Assam severed both of Darth Redd's hands, so Wredd, believing redemption impossible, pleaded for death. Anya Solo ultimately shot him, ending the last known Sith and seemingly destroying the one Sith. Darth Luft. Darth Luft was a male Twi'lek Sith Lord of Darth Krayt's one Sith, who turned pirate, enslaving Mon Calamari and Quarren workers at the orbital shipyards of Dak after the Sith collapse in 137 ABY. In 138 ABY, Imperial Knight Yao Assam and Anya Solo alerted the Galactic Federation triumvirate, prompting a fleet assault and slave uprising that flooded the shipyards with seawater. Amid the chaos, Luft fought two Imperial Knight cadets, then dueled Zhao in a flooded hangar and was fatally stabbed through the back. His death ended the pirate slave ring and liberated Dak, clearing the path toward the final battle with Darth Wredd.